All right, I have 6:30, so we will call the meeting to order, please, with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. Roll call, Mr. Lundberg.
Oh,
Yes.
Odie is absent. Saxer?
Yes.
Telcott? Yes. Scott?
Yes.
All right, with that, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented tonight.
So moved.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. There are no conflict of interest, disclosure, or waiver requests tonight. That takes us to our general business section and administration reports, the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a few things for you here this evening. Inspiration Elementary School construction timeline. Construction continues with just note substantial completion by July 31st with all punch list items being completed August 13th, set to open for the fall of 2021. There are some photos at the bottom that we'll take a look at here in just a bit. Staffing wise, we're staffed out in terms of classroom teacher assignments, special education teacher assignments. Encores will be provided through our current staff, and classified staff assignments and hiring is in progress as we move through the next few months. Budget process overview. Again, you've seen this timeline and outline every meeting for about the last 6 months. The big item to note is our preliminary budget will come in May, and then our public budget address with potential action on that budget will happen there in July. Pandemic response plan update. Biggest items I would note: Q4, no changes to our current approach. Plan the work the plan. Keep moving forward through this school year as we wrap up. June 1st this summer, I would note that we're going to allow our students and our staff access to our facilities. So when we think about facility usage, you'll see some facility usage from our staff and then with a focus on our kids. Pandemic Response Planning Committee. I would note that July 12th, the week of July 12th, we will reinstitute the pandemic response planning team and evaluate the situation as it exists at that point in time and begin looking at our pandemic response plan and tweaking, altering, and moving forward as appropriate at that time. Quite frankly, I need to give our staff a little bit of a break from the COVID grind, and then also we will have the best information available there by the middle of July in terms of what the fall looks like and what mitigation strategies will be necessary. And then just for the public's sake, I would note that week of August 2nd would be the week where we want to update our COVID-19 information webpage so folks know exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. At this point in time, we don't know if we'll be contact tracing or not. That'll be determined by the South Dakota Department of Health. And then obviously individuals exhibiting symptoms, all of those various processes and protocols that we have will be updated and made available to our public by that week of August 2nd after our committees had the opportunity to work through that process. Staff recognition banquet will be virtual, will take place Tuesday, May 4th. It will air on Lynx TV at 7 p.m. And then in addition to that, we'll have a web link provided on the district website for those that don't have Alliance Television. They'll be able to watch the staff recognition banquet online as well. Giant thank you to First National Bank for sponsoring our Teacher of the Year award program, and also the Brandon Valley Area Chamber of Commerce and their support this year as we've tried to take a collective or holistic approach to that award. In addition to that, a special thank you to Bill Miller, who is a critical part of our program and serves as the master of ceremonies. Certainly couldn't do it without him, so appreciate Bill's help with the staff recognition banquet. Distance Learning Academy for next year would note The K4 platform will be taught by Brandon Valley teachers and will also be the district-created platform. Grades 5 through 12, we will be utilizing South Dakota Virtual School. Grades 5 and 6 will utilize Black Hills Online Learning Community. Grades 7 through 12 will utilize South Dakota Virtual School. High School Edition, as noted prior to that project, we really outlined 3 major priorities: general classrooms, ground floor special education services, and then science lab classrooms. You can see the tentative timeline for how that looks. Currently in the early preliminary planning stages. That will ramp up as we work through the summer to the fall. In the winter, we'll bid the project, and then we'll have the construction season during the 2022-2023 school year. We'll be open in the fall of 23 for the 23-24 school year for that high school edition. As previously noted, our summer lunch program has been approved. There will be grab and go on Tuesdays. Breakfast and lunch is provided for the week. That will be every Tuesday, June 1st through July 27th. I should have the locations and times for you in the month of May, and then we'll be communicating that out to our respective parents at that time as well. It's important to note, on-site lunch services will be provided to our EL Summer School and our Boys and Girls Club kiddos. That is the same strategy that we utilized last summer. There was recently an announcement, USDA approved an extension of the waiver for free meals for all students for the 2021-22 school year. I do want to note that as we understand it, or I understand it, South Dakota must opt in for school districts to be eligible to participate. So additional information will be provided to you on that front. I just think it's important to know that it's just not done right now. The state of South Dakota Department of Education, CNS services out there have to opt into that into that waiver. Share Our Strength, the grant has been confirmed for 2021-22 school year. Would note that that grant covers the cost of our registered dietitian, and then we in turn share services with those rural school districts, directorship, consultation services, as well as RD services. So that grant has been approved for next year. Look forward to continuing our work on that. Couple calendar items to note. Graduation is on Sunday, May 16th. Last day of school is May 19th. We have an early dismissal for our kiddos. Thursday will be that in-service day, that staff in-service day. A big portion of that day will be the professional development for our ELA adoption that you're going to hear a little bit about here later this meeting. And then Friday, May 21st is workshop. A couple pictures from down at Inspiration Elementary. This is the exterior. I would note that the gravel area next to the building is being paved today. So was down at the site today and asphalt was going in, and that's ultimately the asphalt playground area. So that's already changed from the photo that you have in front of you today. This would be the area that received pavement today. This is the kindergarten wing. Would just note that right now they're in the process of doing the epoxy portion of that floor, and then the other portion of that floor receives carpet. As you can see, it's the epoxy is underneath the area for coat hooks, ultimately the muddy boots, and those various dirty shoes that they come in from recess. So that's in progress. First through fourth grade wing, right now about half of it has the ceiling grid in, and that's the process that they're currently working through. The flooring will then follow through after the kindergarten wing. It'll follow into the first through fourth grade wing, respectively. That's all I have for you this evening. Would certainly entertain any questions that you have.
Thank you, Superintendent Larson. Next, we have general business. Under number 1, approve the purchase and 7-year adoption of the junior K to 12 English language arts curriculum delivery model at a one-time cost of $1,159,221.39, effective the 2021-22 school year as presented.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First and foremost, before I turn it over to Director Nelson, just want to give her a public thank you and shout out for facilitating this substantial process. Curriculum adoptions are a tremendous amount of work and a very collaborative process utilizing teachers, administrators, parents, the whole works. So it's been a couple of years in the making, and I certainly do appreciate the great work she's done on this. Look forward to the adoption of this ELA program. And then the one item that I would note in addition to this is within our ESSER funds, we have some intervention curriculum that we have purchased that is directly aligned to this curriculum adoption. So just note that those intervention curriculum items that we are purchasing for the purpose of COVID learning loss are incorporated into this respective adoption, not in this budget number, but correlates to the curriculum that we have chosen to present to you today. So without further ado, Director Nelson.
All right. As mentioned, the purpose of this report is to identify the K-12 English Language Arts curriculum delivery model. I'm going to start first with just explaining the brief timeline, and then I'll share the selections and the cost. This work, as Dr. Larson stated, started 2 years ago in the fall of 2019. And we put together a committee with the help of the principals, and it included representatives from all buildings and all grade levels, and then also serving on that committee were special education, English learners, and technology representatives. In October of 2020, the vendors presented. Our teachers had evaluated the curriculum samples and narrowed it down to 3 selections, and so those presentations took place in October. Then in April of 2021, just a few weeks ago, the parents reviewed the materials that were selected by the teachers. Our teachers that were on the committee put together videos, and we sent the videos out to the parents to observe those. If this material that I share with you today is approved, then we will start professional development in May of 2021. The first day that we will have training will be on that in-service day with the modified calendar. And then that work will continue a few weeks into the summer. The actual curriculum wouldn't be purchased until July 1st of 2021. And then there would be some more training in the back-to-school PD sessions. And then we would implement it in the fall of 2021. So as far as the selections that were made by the committee, junior kindergarten has selected World of Wonders. This is a 7-year print and digital curriculum. They also selected Handwriting Without Tears and a few read-aloud books so that they can have common unit planning across the district with some of their units. The elementary schools selected Wonders. You'll notice that junior kindergarten is World of Wonders and elementary is Wonders, and both of those are by McGraw-Hill. This is a 7-year print and digital curriculum with leveled readers. The intermediate school selected My View and My Perspectives. This is from the company called Savvis. This is 7 years print and digital, and they'll also receive a small novel allowance to update their selection. The middle school and the high school both selected Into Literature by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. It's a 7-year print and digital for the middle school, but it's only digital for the high school. Both schools selected Turnitin. It's an academic integrity and feedback software used to detect plagiarism and teach students how not to plagiarize. And then the high school selected No Red Ink, which is an online grammar curriculum. The middle school has grammar books. They're print grammar books that are built into the curriculum. And then finally, even though we have all these materials, we also want to make sure that our teachers know how to use them. So we have summer curriculum development planned, as I mentioned earlier, and our middle school and high school teachers were able to participate in a culturally responsive literature instruction workshop that was sponsored by Harvard. And so this comes to a grand total of $1,159,221.39. So I will answer any questions you might have at this time.
A lot of work, obviously. This is a big one. It's one that probably invests the most money in.
For sure.
And we know that results on the reading and those are imperative for our successful long-term goals. There we go. Anyway, so I think it, obviously the time and energy put into this one. Clarification for me, novel, so at like the intermediate level, and maybe even middle school level, elementary, but intermediate level, is that just like a library that kids will pick from, or is it a particular novel for that grade level or whatever?
The teachers will receive a novel allowance. They'll be able to decide if they want to use them for literature circles or if they're going to pick new novel for the entire grade. And so this will just update our selection. It won't replace necessarily all the old novels that we've always had. It's just offering more selections. So at the high school level, I believe it's $8,000 for each grade that has been allotted for them. The middle school was $4,000 for each grade. The intermediate school, it's $4,000 for the 5th grade. The 6th grade came with a free novel in the package, and so we didn't add that in.
So the high school is going to be able to get, the high school is going to be able to get or whatever, a couple, 4,000 is equivalent about one novel per grade level. So then they communicate, just so people understand, they communicate between the grades, middle school, high school, so we're not duplicating what's taught in 7th grade until we all come back.
That's exactly right. We have what's called a sacred novel list. And so that's a list that's shared with everybody to make sure that we're not selecting novels that are already being taught in other grades.
Any other questions at all tonight? If not, then I would entertain a motion to approve the purchase and 7-year adoption of the junior K to 12 English language arts curriculum delivery model at a one-time cost of $1,159,221.39, effective the 2021-2022 school year as presented.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Under personnel, I would entertain a motion to approve items 1 through 26 as presented, please.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. 2 items, 27 and 28, are for information only. Does anyone have any communication? I don't believe there is any tonight.
Madam Chair, if I could steal one
Yeah.
second.
Yep.
Displayed behind the Board of Education is a pink breast cancer awareness guitar that was donated by Greg and Sherry Carmen. I would note that this is, I believe, the 4th guitar of this style. This one is autographed by Carrie Underwood. So this is the 4th guitar of this style that they have donated to the school district. I would note that I had a conversation with Mr. Grody, who teaches our woods class, and he in the advanced woods class next year will be designing and building a special display case for our respective collection that has been donated by the Carmens. So there is a card there for our appreciation. If you would, as you walk by, please sign your name, and we'll certainly send our appreciation to them. So thank you very much, Greg and Sherry.
Thank you. That takes us to our board reports. Does anyone have a formal board report they would like to share tonight?
This last week, we had our state executive board retreat for a day and a half, I would say, up in Pierre. And I guess overarching topics, went through some of the biggest bills that were passed this last year, looking at maybe what's coming. I guess the homeschool bill was a big topic. We're still waiting for the specifics of that bill. So what I guess the direction has been is for each of the districts to just hold on the enrollment of those students requesting participation in activities until the specifics of that bill have come out. And in the activities portion of that is not just the South Dakota activities list, it's all school activities. So we are waiting for specifics on that as of yet, but just to hold until the specifics are released from the state level. Other than that, the other big topic that I think affects everybody in this room and as well as the community is for not just feedback, but also for you to consider how to get further involved in this next year, I would say the next legislative year, looking for how do we, I guess, best support our state legislators. There's form emails that we can send to those as we want to support or oppose different bills, and those maybe have limited impact as we're getting back that feedback. Sometimes we can pick up the phone and we don't always reach them directly. We can send a text message, but we can also pack the house on certain issues. So we're just trying to figure out maybe how we can best support or oppose certain issues and have better involvement at all levels as it influences education, and to be more proactive rather than reactive. So that's just something as you start thinking about that in the year coming forward, because there's going to be a lot of issues that are now going to stem off of bills that were passed. So just something to be thinking about. There's also a few awards that they're seeking nominations for. And although it's a COVID year, they're noticing that there's a lot of things that we've been balancing. And so they're just asking that you check out the Associated School Boards of South Dakota website and look at what you could possibly send a quick nomination for. They're not looking for any essays. They're just asking that if you know somebody that would, or some groups that would be worth nominating, they're just asking for some nominations. One is for your friendly school board that stands in front of you. Shameless plug.
Thank you. Any other board reports tonight?
The most important thing, I totally forgot. So we had to go around and talk about good news, which is always fun for the Brandon Valley. And every school was talking about, they just got done with negotiations. And they were all very proud about the raises that they gave across the state until that they heard what Brandon Valley gave. And then they asked that we not share that because it trumped everybody else across the state. So that was really fun.
Thank you. That is kind of fun. All right, with that, it looks like that takes us to the end of our scheduled meeting. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you for everyone for coming tonight.